Monday, November 17th. Monday, November 17th, market analysis, Stan Ehrlich. Well, we have another, I start out with stock indexes and go to futures, and then I have a few stocks I follow recently. I start out with indexes. So, as I've been saying, and it's starting to come more blatantly, obviously true, I thought that October 10th, October 29th, with my bearish engulfing ER sell signals, and there were two of them. One was the exact high day, are coming true. Today we have a new low close since then, and the low of the day challenged the low of a week and a day ago, or November 7th. So breaking below today's low, which will also break November 7th low, is going to end up making a new low since October 17th. We're talking about a month almost. So that low, October 10th, and a few days later, represent the last significant longer term or intermediate to longer term vestige of support. So you have to watch very carefully how the market handles that support zone, which in the E-mini is 65.40 up to about 65.79, which is not too small. It's not huge otherwise. But below that, we have people starting to talk about bear markets, month or two or three or four or five or six down. I don't know. All I can say is we picked the exact high day with the ER sell signal so far. And it's been pretty good. And I do expect new lows. I do expect the low on November 17th to be broken on a closing basis and this week. Then it could drop much faster and quicker. Let's see what happens. Now, the 510. This time I've got 10-minute data here to give you a perspective on a little bit longer term. Oh, what have we got? A month, 5 weeks, 5 weeks. Perspective on where the market has bottomed out and topped out, et cetera, before or in the last 5 weeks. So we're starting to break some of these important lows. And then the one on November 7th held pretty accurately. So I'm not surprised if it's going to bounce back up a bit, although I don't think it's going to get back up above 6,800 again. And soon to make new lows, real soon. Next, Spider, SPY. We got almost, I remember distinctly, a bearish engulfing ER sell signal, an exact high day, October 29th, but it managed to close barely a few ticks higher in the last 60 seconds of trading. Otherwise, it would have been a signal. Too bad. Nevertheless, support's being tested. New low close for weeks, basically since, give or take a day or so, October 17th. Support is starting to give way. Looking for lower levels. These are my yellow support levels. If it's a straight line, then it's a little more significant and accurate, as opposed to a zone, which is shaded in yellow, and they overlap several times sometimes. So what can I say? Down we go, and I think it may last a little longer than I originally thought it might because of the slowness of the beginning, to be honest with you. No gaps to close above the market, basically. Here we go. This is the 10-minute chart, but it's shorter trading hours. That's why I expand. On the Spider, going back to September 19th. So you can see we're chewing away at lows here. The one, October 10th, extremely important because it's the lowest low for even several weeks before that. It was the October lows. Not that big a deal this year, unfortunately. Next, QQQ. We already broke slightly the support level on November 7th on Friday, but it closed well above it. Already today, it's come down to almost the same price levels, support, and closed a lot lower. So there's no particular sign that I can tell that it's about ready to pop back up again. None of these, by the way, are oversold or even close, except for the YM. You'll see that in a minute. Lower levels, major support levels about to be tested, in particular the low on October 10th. In general, QQQ, 10-minute data, chewing away at lows. Early Friday, pop back pretty good. Today, dropping down, drop off a lot more. Lower. NASDAQ, NQ, challenging support like the Qs you expect. A lot lower close. Resistance stopping rallies. Support, not that big a deal close term. Looking for obviously 24,450. And then there's a support level maybe a little more important, 24,288. Then we've got 24,050. And then lower. The low in October is in that range I just said at around 24,143. Next, chewing away at support. Lower highs. Bearish formation we had for about 3 days there. I didn't mention that. Head and shoulder top. Next, YM. New low close by a long shot. Broke the lows and is very close to staying below the low on November 7th. Then we've got the October lows, or about the low of October. This one happens to be a little different. No, it's still, sorry, October 10th. We got a big buy signal a couple of days later. So overbought conditions. Some people might call us a double top. Okay, fine. Then we started to break out today, but closed above the breakout level. It needs to close below. Then your downside objective is going to be my October lows or a little bit more. Watch out. YM, 10-minute chart, breaking support, but popping back some. I wouldn't call it fantastic. Russell has broken all of the lows and all of the closing and below the previous lows going back to September 2nd, September, October, and half of November. So, leading the way down, obviously, but still stuck in a very broad area of support and resistance. It could get oversold. It is oversold, not too much so, both Friday and today. And we're getting close to the support level, which is a downside objective as well at 2308. Let's see what happens. And we're looking at the 10-minute chart on the Russell. Bonds. Got a little support. It's reinforced again today. Day number 5 out of it looks like 10 days. Held in approximately the same price levels. Pretty good. Closed decently higher. Nothing great. Also got resistance above. This is a sideways trading range that's developing. I still like the important overbought condition against major resistance on that last rally top of October 22nd. So I am looking for support to be broken and for it to dip down to 115.25-ish and maybe even down as low as, I don't know, 113-ish. Notes are converging on a bull trend line and the bottom of a support level tomorrow, and that would be just a little lower than today's low. So below 112.13, we're going to have a double downside breakout, so to speak, below support levels, and that would be a bull trend line as well as the bottom of a horizontal support resistance level. I think it's going to happen, whether it's tomorrow or this week, sometime this week. Crude. Still resistance on the way back up is stopping it like on Friday. Not much happening. A doji closed a little lower, looking for a test of recent lows and then probably down to at least 55.80. Natural gas overbought, hit resistance on Thursday of last week, pulling back a little on Friday, dropped like a rock today. New low for 3 previous trading days and a new low close for 4 previous trading days. Back into a support area. Breaking the low of the support level probably is going to lead all the way down to this support zone, and I haven't drawn that in at all yet. Let's do it now. Control. Okay, that would be off of this low right here, and then up to some other lows a little bit higher right there. Pull this to the left a slight bit and catch that one. Good. Oh, didn't grab it. Sorry. And do that again right there. Okay, fine. Down to that support range, 3.85, 3.718. Next, heating oil, still overbought, damn near a bearish engulfing sell signal last week. A little bit of a climb back into the middle of kind of a range like that is not uncommon. Looking for it to make new lows probably this week below 239.9. Next, coming down a bit on gold. Then we got silver, platinum, copper, then grains. Today, gold dropped off, made a new low for a few days, a new low close. The key to it turning, and it wasn't much of a turn, was overbought conditions. Now we're going to come down and challenge a little bit of nearby support, 39.35 down to about 39.04. Excuse me, 04. If that does not hold, probably, and I've been saying this for quite a while, 35.95. Yeah, a little below 36. Next, silver, another new low close off of overbought conditions, double top formation possible. If the double top works, downside objective is back to an old support level I've had on this chart for months, 37 and a few ticks. That's what I'm looking for if the double top works. So we have to come down more, break a little support, this zone, and break out and continue further. Keep tuned. Next, platinum, kind of doing the same thing, about to break some recent lows, I think, my opinion. I would say that this probably has a line right here. Not too bad. I thought it was a little bit better, but that's interesting. So breaking this line obviously has to happen. Then there's other lows, of course, and then another bull trend line that goes back to late July, it looks like. Plus, you got support levels lower than that. Frankly, I'm looking for it to come down to about 13, 15. Excuse me. So, high grade, copper, slipping, no surprise. Basically, I think that was the retracement. A little double top, possible, hasn't broken out yet. From the gigantic collapse that it had way back late July. So major long-term support I'm expected to be tested if we start closing below 4.82. Then a double top will form past tense, and a downside objective of around the lows we had before in the crash should come true if it works correctly, 4.37. Next, soybeans and grains in general. Wow, what a day. Major bullish engulfing outside up day encompassing several previous days, including wiping out a bearish engulfing ER sell signal I had yesterday. We had a little loss, obviously, but this bullish engulfing today is, I don't know how to say this. I don't remember seeing this kind of thing before, and it's not only beans. So this looks like it's about to catapult itself a lot higher super quick, and it's not quite overbought yet. I wouldn't rule out 12, 1220, 1240. Next, soybean oil has a big outside up day and is about to make a new high, it looks like, and then go through buy stops. And I think it could get up to 53.90, then maybe 56 flat, and maybe a resistance area starting at 57.5. I can't rule out 57.5. This is quite unusual. So we have another bullish engulfing no, distant bullish engulfing and not overbought yet. Neither was soybean oil overbought yet. Meal, no. New high close for months. Nothing stopping this except until we get up to approximately 344. Then we're running into the beginning of some old resistance. Let me amend that. Yeah, that's right, 344. But I don't know. This thing could pop up even more than that. This is quite bullish combination of stuff. 368.90, I'll have to mention. Oops, sorry. Next, corn, lower low for a few days, but a nice strong close. Nothing great. It has to pop up above, and it's not very far away. 8 cents. The recent highs that will make new highs again since early July. Come on. Dips of holding at higher levels. Rallies are making new highs. Bear sell signals are not working. This thing has broken out of a sloppy head and shoulder bottom formation. Double shoulder, too late. Single shoulder, timing is off a bit. Nevertheless, all the other body parts are there. And all I need now, after today's low touching the trend line almost exactly, is for it to make new highs again. So minimum upside objectives 471 plus more. Next, wheat almost made a lower low, much higher high for about a week and a half. New high close for looks like 7, 8 days, something like that. On its way up, didn't finish closing an older gap, which still I have to say is a possibility. Can't rule that out. Not until we're way up, to 580 or 6 or something, and then I'll rule that out. But gaps are almost always closed. There are some that are maybe 5%. So it's a pretty decent bet that they'll be closed. 5 or 10% are not closed. All right. Apple, new low close since 24th, looks like about October 24th, 27th, something like that. Also, a minor new low, didn't stay there. So that is some support still. And it needs to close a gap. I'm thinking at what I talked about since it happened, down right here at 264.20. Then there's something more important, a gap down at 253.30. Also, major support is even lower than that. All I can say is the stock indexes are looking like they're going to go lower. I think Apple's going to follow or lead, whatever. And looking for a break, probably down to 240, yeah, about 241. Next, Tesla already broke out Thursday, tried to bounce back Friday, came back a little bit today, and almost closed the gap I've been talking about since it happened on Thursday of last week. Came right up to the bottom of it, stopped cold turkey, and slipped back down quite a bit. Now, yeah, it's still up a little on the day, but I think that was it. The effort to close the gap, it just didn't do it. Now, I'm not going to be surprised if it still doesn't do it. It's not out of the question. It's just that it's so weird that it came so close and couldn't quite. All right. Looking for lower levels, obviously. And NVIDIA already starting to slip off, lower highs. Support is about horizontal. Watch out. I think we're going to come down to 173 minimum, probably 164. And I can't rule out there's some old little gaps I've paid no attention to for quite a while. Back in June, July, I probably should pull those over. Yep, I will do that later. Next, AMD. You could call it a minor double top. It's small. It's only 3 weeks in size or so. All the gaps below it were closed now. Even a gap when it gapped up beginning of last week, Wednesday of last week, closed on Thursday. Slipped off a little more Friday. Today slipped off again, but it's a doji, so we didn't make any lower lows. I don't see any strength. Looking for lower level. Now the gap to close at first is 170, and then I can't rule out something a lot lower than that maybe. You guys have a great day and profitable trading to you.